To the small businesses that are helping us share these inspiring stories, Blackhawk Bank and Trust. This locally owned and operated bank has 18 neighborhood branches, and they give back year-round. They're a solid company since 1961. And Weber Auto Group in Silvis, Illinois, a family-run business 4 generations now, with a big expansion project happening to better serve you. And Peterson Plumbing and Heating, a family-run business committed to great service and community. They've been supporting our work for the past 2 years now.
I didn't think it was going to help her because oh my God. Because all the other rehabs didn't help her, so.
A little girl trying to be so strong for her mom.
I was always chasing the next high, whether it was stealing or begging family members to give me money. I was always trying to get money to get more drugs every single day.
But both would soon find a way, not just to bring their family together, but to help others as they take us to the heart of their story.
In 2013, I started using heroin. I grew up, I had a really good childhood. I was a normal kid. I graduated high school, I went to college, and then something just changed. In 2013, I started using drugs and lost my job and lost my kids within 3 or 4 years.
What was it like for you when you lost your children?
It was devastating, and I didn't think I was ever going to get them back. So I just kept doing more and more drugs. I just figured I wasn't meant to be a mom.
What do you think it was for you that made you feel this sense of non-worth, where, you know what, might as well just do more drugs because nothing else matters?
I don't know. I always felt like there was a hole in my heart since I was a teenager, and I always tried to fill that hole with men. I started dating when I was 14, and I kept getting in bad relationships. I don't think I've ever been single until now. I've been single for 3 years now. I just tried to fill that void with men.
Nicole had lost just about everything, including her family, who didn't know what else they could do to help, as she went deeper and deeper into that world, pushing everyone else away.
It was like from morning till night on drugs versus not being on drugs.
It was chaotic. When I was on drugs, my life was nothing but chaos. I was always chasing the next high, whether it was stealing or begging family members to give me money. I was always trying to get money to get more drugs every single day. That's all I thought about, that's all I cared about.
The harsh reality is you've likely heard a story like this before. Battered women losing everything, but what you don't often hear is the others around them who have lost so much too.
Well, I like to go to art, and because I like drawing.
Now, what do you like about art?
Just it calms me, and I don't know, I just like it.
Like 10-year-old Olivia, who really shouldn't need something like art to calm her down.
Do you remember what life was like when you weren't around your mom?
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Well, I was in 3rd grade and I started having anger issues, and I would go home and cry. And then that's all.
Because you didn't have your mom around?
Yeah.
That bothered you? Did you understand why she wasn't there?
Yeah, I did.
Her mom was on the streets, nowhere else to turn.
I became homeless in 2017 and I was living in my van. I was living mostly in the Walmart parking lots because they were safe and they were lit up at night. Yep.
And then you just hit rock bottom?
Yeah, I was in a really abusive relationship on top of using drugs, and I just said enough is enough. One night I just prayed, because I grew up in church. I just prayed to God, and actually me and the boyfriend got into a physical argument and I went to jail.
Went to jail. Nothing left, or so it seemed. It was in that dark, cold, lonely cell that she found a glimmer of hope. And it came from this place, 180, a faith-based nonprofit run by a former addict and homeless man who works to bring hope and opportunity to people just like Nicole. But while Olivia was happy to hear her mom was off the streets, she too has been down this road before. Listen to these wise words from a 10-year-old.
So now when you got to see her again, when you got to hear that she found this place that's making her better, what did you think?
I need a break. Okay, hold on. Well, at first, I didn't think it was gonna help her because, oh my God. Because all the other rehabs didn't help her, so.
So all the other things didn't really help her much, so you didn't think this would help her either? But then it must have made you feel so good, though, when she started getting better. And you could see her change?
Yeah.
You could have happy times together again. So what have you learned about your mom and about other people that have come through here?
Well, I can't imagine any of them, they don't seem like they would ever be drug addicts or anything. And well, when it changed my mom's life, I was happy because my parents were getting along with her. My dad and my stepmom, everybody was supporting her and happy for her, so I got to see her more and more, and then she finally graduated and moved to a new apartment, and I was just so happy.
Graduated from the 14-month program, and not just staying sober, but now working here, mentoring others just like her.
I hope to inspire other addicts and all the ladies and the men that come through 180. I just want to love on them and tell them where I came from and that it can be done. I've been sober for 3 years now, and I love myself, and you don't need a guy or any other person to give you worth,
Interestingly enough, using her own painful experiences to connect, while also trying to move on from her own past.
I found the longer that I'm sober, it's getting harder and harder to connect with the old Nicole. So it helps me to work here too. It kind of reminds me of where I came from, because sometimes I do forget, because I have changed so much from the inside out that I forget that I was even an addict sometimes.
So part of you wants to forget and move on, but the other part wants to dig into that so you can help others.
Yes, it's a struggle. That's what I'm struggling with right now, yeah.
She has big hopes, big dreams for what is next in her life.
Very strong, but I know there's got to be a lot of pain in there too.
Yeah, actually, not anymore. I have forgiven myself. I think that's the biggest thing, is I forgave myself for everything that I did to my kids and to my family. You have to forgive yourself, otherwise you're never going to be able to move forward. So.
And that's probably the advice you'd like to pass to someone watching this, saying, wow, I don't know if there's any value left in my life. There's always redemption.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to keep moving forward. So you can't live back there.
What's your future hold?
Well, hopefully still working at 180 and just watching my kids grow up. Even though I missed quite a few years, I'm able to now watch them graduate high school and go to college, and I hope to get married someday, and it's a normal life.
And Olivia too, writing about the place she calls her hero for saving her mom.
I said, what is 180? I said 180 is a home where people have drug or drinking problems, and 180 is led by the Lord and Rusty.
And in a way, saving her, showing her a strength she can use now for the rest of her life.
What do you think you want to do someday in the future?
Well, I want to be an art teacher, or I want to be a doctor because I want to save people.
Part of that because somebody helped your mom? So now you want to help other people too?
Yeah. So every time I see a homeless person, I try to give them my food or money.
You just really have a soft place in your heart for people, huh?
For more on 180, check out 180.org and see our story on them on our YouTube channel, and listen on our podcast, Big Goals and Tiny Homes. Subscribe, share, help us grow. This is The Heart of the Story with Gary Metivier.